I'd like to tell you a story about Kate that demonstrates the incredible power that systems, policies and practices have on the well-being and resilience of our beginning teachers. It's not dissimilar to the story that Barry told about one of our early career teachers' experiences with high-status testing. Kate was appointed to a school about 350 kilometres north of Adelaide, a fairly difficult school in an industrial town. She entered her first class with 15 5-year-olds beginning school for the first time, and she was told then that she would expect to have one new student the following week who was suspected of as having Asperger's syndrome. Kate had had no special needs training and was a bit worried and a bit apprehensive about the possibilities of what could happen and how she'd look after the other 15 children and so on. When the child arrived, within days, there were major problems with behaviour, disengagement, threats to the well-being of the other children and to Kate herself. She went home and disclosed to her partner that she felt a failure as a teacher, that she didn't want to continue. She was quite weepy, blamed herself for her own inadequacies as a classroom manager, and really got down on herself. And she even described in the interview that we had with her as being non-resilient at that point. The child was at school because under the provisions of the inclusion policies that the Education Department pursued at the time, the child had to be at school to be assessed by a medical practitioner. That was just one of the rules that was in place at the time. But that meant in practice that Kate had to manage this child along with the 15 other beginning school children for about 6 weeks before the individual child with the suspected disability was assessed. Now, during that time, Kate had advice from up to 16 professionals about what she should do with the child. None of that advice was particularly useful, and it led her to start blaming herself over and over again. However, the school was fairly proactive. Knowing that Kate was in that situation for 6 weeks, the school principal called her aside and counselled her on what she thought was possible to do in that situation. She also put into her classroom a student teacher. Now, having 2 adults in the room certainly helped Kate, and it got her through that 6-week period. But the whole episode demonstrates the tendency among our early career teachers to individualise the problems that they experience and not to see beyond their own situations. Early career teachers are very quick to subscribe to and follow the institutional value that they are in control of a classroom, that it's a one teacher, one classroom responsibility. And the second point I'd like to make is that the systems, by the implementation of policies like the inclusion of children with special needs, often create situations for beginning teachers that are unanticipated. And that's what happened in Kate's place.